just wanna make you laugh. I just wanna see that smile. Baby, we're only here for a little while. I just wanna hold you till we fall asleep. I want love, I want us, I want you, I want me, I want peace.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Hump Day. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Rick Alexander. That intro music is always provided by Brittany Taylor. She is Barbell Brittany on Instagram, and I am at Rick Alexander _. And as always, if you're digging the show, please share it. Share it with your friends. Tag me at Lionheart Radio, at Rick Alexander _, and let me know you guys are digging it, getting value from it, so we can keep trying to grow this thing. I do want to say a very heartfelt thank you because the welcome to the show has been amazing. We did just hit our most listens ever in a month for the second straight month in a row, which is essentially since I launched this show. And although that was probably to be expected because we're putting out so much more content, the thing that's really taken me by surprise is by how much more people are listening to the show. And so again, just want to say thank you. If you're digging it, please continue to share it with your friends, share it with me, share it with all the people. All right, so I have a client, she's a former client, and I was training her for a career in the military, and she's gone through some injuries and some setbacks, and she's been working through some issues, and she's had a really big hamstring issue. And so she's been troubleshooting this injury and this thing for quite a while, trying to get to the bottom of it and figure out what's going on. And she came to the realization with the help of the sports medical team that she's working with that the actual injury originated under the lat, which is interesting because that's actually how a lot of physical therapy works. So typically when there's something going on with you, that thing is never the issue. And I talk about this a lot, right? Like I just talked about on Monday how the goal is not about the goal, it's about the person you become in the process. You know, I talk about a lot of times, like any single one adventure is not about the adventure, it's about the many adventures that you will eventually string together and call your life. Because the thing is never about the thing. My buddy Ryan Muncie in his book, Fuck Your Feelings, has a quote where he says, everything is everything. And that's sort of his theory where he talks about this idea that everything hints at a bigger question, a bigger issue. Often I've found with physical therapy that the injury typically comes somewhere up the kinetic chain. So as a quick example, when I got way into ultra running, I thought that I had shin splints. And it presented exactly like shin splints. It felt like it, made sense. I had a ton of mileage. And I went and I saw a girl who was good with trigger point therapy. And she looked at my feet. We did the massage, some trigger point. And then she ended up just smashing on the arches of my feet for about 25 minutes. And then, lo and behold, no longer had shin splints. Clearly, I did not have shin splints. The problem is that the fascia in the arch of my feet was so tight that it was actually pulling a lot of those muscles around the foot, and it was presenting as the pain, which felt like shin splints. Because the thing is never the thing. And what I wanted to introduce today was this idea that if things aren't going exactly right in your life or going like you would like them to or like you want them to, maybe the thing isn't actually the thing. A lot of times, maybe you're having relationship issues or maybe you're having issues at work or who knows what the problem might be, family issues, but a lot of times that is actually a symptom. It is just manifesting as a single pain point now, but the problem is actually probably further up the kinetic chain. So what in your life might be wrong? Or a better way to put it, a better question to figure out, to troubleshoot troublesome areas in your life might be, where aren't you looking? You know, I'll share a pseudo-personal story with thousands of you, why not? Last year, I was in my transition process getting ready to get out of the military. And I felt like I had one foot into the civilian world already, so it didn't really matter. I didn't feel like the transition was going to be hard for me. I just didn't care. I just didn't think it was going to be a thing. I was ready to get out. But the reality is that it was actually living below the surface, and it was causing this low-level anxiety all of the time. And that stress, that cortisol, is just constantly being released. Well, throughout that process, other things in my life started going wrong. I started feeling less fulfillment with the achievements that I had, the physical achievements that I had. Relationships was really not working out. And I spent a lot of time trying to diagnose those issues, trying to figure out, maybe like anybody does, what I could have done differently or who I could have been or what I could have done better. But at the end of the day, I couldn't necessarily always come up with something. And then as I got closer to this date and as I got some clarity and some distance from everything, from the achievements, from the relationship, from all of these different things, I unplugged for a long time and I got a little bit of clarity around it. It was plain as day that this other problem, which was causing a low-level stress, was actually just manifesting as a single pain point or multiple pain points actually now. But because I didn't actually realize, I didn't actually feel like I was worried about it, because on the surface I wasn't necessarily, I never looked in the right spot. And there comes a time, yesterday I talked about having standards, but there comes a time where you kind of have to you got to own your shit. You got to own your life, every single second of it, everything that happens. I talk about this a lot. Things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And you have to figure out what that for means. You have to figure out what that reason is that things are happening to you. But sometimes this is the case with me. I spent a lot of time resentful trying to figure out what it was that was going wrong, when at the end of the day, I just had to come to the realization that it's nobody's fucking job to drown with me. And that's exactly what was happening. See, all of this stress that was living below the surface of me getting ready to transition out of the military and no longer have a paycheck. And I think deep down what I knew was that it was going to force me to grow in a way that I really wasn't that comfortable growing with. And so that manifested as relationship problems. It manifested as me feeling like I was drowning. It manifested as things essentially feeling like I was just sort of getting pulled apart at the seams. And that happens to us a lot. And so maybe I think, the original question that I asked, it's like, if things are going wrong in your life right now, or if something is going wrong, where aren't you looking? What are you not willing to deal with? I heard Tim Ferriss recently say, he said that there's one, and I don't remember who he attributed this quote to, it wasn't his originally, but he said, there's one question that underlies all questions. And that question is, what are you not willing to feel? And that's interesting, right? Because it could be that there are certain things that you are not wanting to face, right? And so your subconscious has an aversion to those things. And so maybe it's manifesting as other problems in your life. Maybe it's time to sort of take a step back, try to get some perspective around everything, because it could be that what's going wrong is exactly where you aren't looking, where you aren't willing to go, what you aren't willing to feel. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully this insight will serve as a catalyst for you to do a little bit of deep work, a little bit of thinking into your own life. And if you can use mine as an example, well, fuck, that's what I'm here for. I love you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow on Morning Coffee.
I've been trying to find this vibe for a long time. Always seeming like it's coming on its own time. But it feels so good, ain't gonna lie. My ride or die, feels so good, ain't gonna lie. Now that last goodbye, all the way up and you can't take this. Cause it's feeling so real that you can't fake this. But it feels so good, ain't gonna lie. My ride or die, feels so good, ain't gonna lie. Now that last goodbye, we ain't never gonna quit. We ain't never gonna quit it, boy. We ain't never gonna quit. We ain't never gonna quit it. Always trying to chime me. The temperature be rising. I could've sworn that you be psychic. 1-800. You push my buttons, I'm like Tyson. Been years since I felt like this. So blessed. Gonna ask if you can stay. For the rest, I'm alive cause I need you. Real joy in my life, yeah, I need you. Just be you. We ain't never gonna quit. We ain't never gonna quit it, boy. We ain't never gonna quit. We ain't never gonna quit it. as it comes. Embrace it through the mist, weather, rain, or sun. Every day is a gift, you got air up in your lungs. Be grateful, rain or sun. Every day is a gift, just take it as it comes. Embrace it through the mist, weather, rain or sun. Every day is a gift, you got air up in your lungs. Be grateful, rain or sun.